Dear friends and students, in this video I'm going to talk about the life and works of Mr. R K Narayan, one of the three pillars of Anglo-Indian writings or Indo-Anglian writings you can say. The three pillars are R K Narayan, Raja Rao and Mr. Mulk Raj Anand, who contributed immensely to the Indian writing in English, and the history of Indian writing in English cannot be complete without the discussion of the contributions of Mr. R K Narayan, the great journalist, novelist, storyteller, and a mythologist. The full name of Mr. R K Narayan is Rasipuram Krishna Swami Narayan Swami. Rasipuram is the village from which R K Narayan comes, and Krishna Swami was the name of his father, and Narayan Swami was his name. So R K Narayan. R K Narayan was born on 10th October 1906 in Madras, now called Chennai, in South India. R K Narayan created a fictional town Malgudi, west in South India. Most of the novels are set in Malgudi and all the characters belong to Malgudi. This is a fictional town, and so like Thomas Hardy, R K Narayan is also a regional novelist. Besides contributing to the genre of novels and storytelling, R K Narayan also translated the two great epics Mahabharata and Ramayana into English. As a journalist, Mr. R K Narayan contributed to the popular newspapers The Hindu, The Herald, and The Justice. The Hindu, The Atlantic, and The Justice. He also started one journal, Indian Thoughts, and most of his stories got published in this journal, Indian Thoughts. He started a publishing company also, Indian Thoughts Publications. His novels include Swami and Friends, Bachelor of Arts, The Man-Eater of Malgudi, The Dark Room, The English Teacher, The Guide, Mr. Sampath, Talkative Man, etc., etc. Though he finished his first novel, Swami and Friends, in the year 1930 when he was doing his BA, he could not get a publisher for his novel. And so, with the help of Graham Greene, a famous novelist of England, he got his first novel, Swami and Friends, published in the year 1935. The help that Mr. Graham Greene extended to him earned him the reputation as the mentor of Mr. R K Narayan. So, if somebody asks the question, if a question is asked there in UGC NET or TGT or PGT examination, that who was the mentor of Mr. R K Narayan, the answer is Mr. Graham Greene. Graham Greene was fond of the writings of Mr. R K Narayan, and he called his novel Swami and Friends as a book in 10,000s. So again a question can come that who called his book Swami and Friends, his novel Swami and Friends, as a book in 10,000s? Then the answer is Mr. Graham Greene, who was very fond of the writings of Mr. R K Narayan and who had great love and respect for him. The Swami and Friends deals with the life of Swami and his friends Somu, Shankar, Rajam, and Mani. Swami plays cricket with his friends. It is a semi-autobiographical novel because it allows us a kind of peep into the life of Mr. R K Narayan when he was a young boy. This is the first novel, and this is semi-autobiographical in nature. The other novel, the second novel, is Bachelor of Arts, which was again a semi-autobiographical in nature, and this novel was written about the life of a student, Mr. Chandran. So Chandran is the protagonist, main character of this novel, who is a young man who is studying in BA and who prepares for his examination in a very meticulous manner. So he plans his study very nicely, and this also gives us a peep into the life of R K Narayan, how R K Narayan as a student also prepared for his studies. So this is a very good example of how one can prepare for one's examination, very meticulous preparation. He plans a routine daily routine how to develop skills into uh, writing, etc. Chandran, who is a young man who plans his study very nicely, who does his uh, who completes his education in a nice manner, and who is a young boy, also falls in love with a girl called Malti. He wants to marry her, but their marriage cannot take place because their horoscopes do not match. So, Bachelor of Arts also throws light on the Indian customs, especially the customs practiced by the Hindus. Without horoscopes matching, there cannot take place marriage. So such is R K Narayan throws light on this irony uh, in our society. The third novel that Mr. R K Narayan wrote is a feminist novel dealing with the plight of Indian wives. Savitri is the protagonist of this novel. She is married to an indifferent man called Ramani. Ramani is no longer interested in her and has found love in Shantabai, another woman. Shantabai is his colleague in the insurance company for which he works. In order to win him back, in order to win her husband back, Savitri uh, tries cosmetics and other beauty products, but to no avail. So she leaves her house. She wants to commit suicide. She is saved by some people and she starts living in a temple. The love for her children brings her back to her husband and kids, but she has to confine herself in a dark room as she is not at all needed here. So R K Narayan draws our attention to the unfortunate lives of Indian wives. In our country, the cultural stigma of living a ruthless, loveless relationship or marriage make things way harder for a neglected wife or woman to understand that she deserves a better life. She deserves better husband or better life. The fourth novel, The English Teacher, which was published in the year 1945, is again a semi-autobiographical novel. So the three novels, the Bachelor of Arts, uh, the the English Teacher, and Swami and Friends, are semi-autobiographical in nature, and the three together are called trilogy. So a question can again be asked about what is about this trilogy. So the answer is the three novels which are semi-autobiographical in nature are the trilogy that R K Narayan wrote. This novel is actually dedicated to R K Narayan's wife Rajam. R K Narayan actually married Rajam in the year 1934 and he lost her to death in the year 1939. So this loss of wife actually contributed to the writing of The English Teacher. Like R K Narayan, the protagonist of this novel, Krishna loses his wife Sushila only after a few years of their wedding. This novel deals with the English teacher Krishna's self-realization after the death of his wife Sushila. The novel centers on the quest of the protagonist for inner peace and self-development. The Guide is one of the most famous novels of R K Narayan. Published in the year 1958, this novel won him Sahitya Akademi Award in the year 1960. So, a question can come, which novel won him the first Sahitya Akademi Award for any writing in English? So, that is The Guide, for which he got the Sahitya Akademi Award in the year 1960, and this novel was published in the year 1958. So, these both years, 1958 and 1960, are very important from the point of view of examination. The Guide is the journey of Raju, an ordinary young man, from a tour guide to a spiritual guide. Raju is the central character of this novel. In his town, Malgudi arrives an archaeologist, Marco, along with his beautiful young wife, Roji. Marco is very passionate about his work and he pays little attention to the wants of his young and beautiful wife, Roji. Roji is a skilled dancer. So Raju gets an opportunity to come close to Roji because he admires her dancing skills. He starts flirting with Roji. Roji takes his advantage as genuine and she starts loving this young man, Raju. She elopes with Raju, she starts living with him, and Marco returns from Malgudi. Raju and Roji start living together. With the help of Raju, Roji gets several dance shows and slowly earns a big name in art and theatre. Money starts coming in, and Raju gets greedy and more greedy. He starts controlling the life of Roji. He does not allow anybody to meet her, so nobody can meet Roji without his permission. So Roji feels like trapped and caged. Raju's greed becomes strong, and when Marco writes a note to Roji asking her to take her jewelry back, Raju sees in it an opportunity to become richer and he forges the signature of Roji. Marco finds it out and Raju lands in jail. Two years after, Raju returns from the jail only to find out that his mother has died and Roji has moved on. Raju starts wandering here and there. An innocent villager, Velan, takes Raju for a saint because of his long hair and beard. Raju enjoys the imposed status of a saint and settles in a temple of the village where Velan lives. As days pass by, Raju is respected as saint and is always surrounded by villagers seeking his blessings. Months pass and suddenly there is drought in the village. People begin to starve, there is no rain, no food, and lives of the villagers become miserable. The villagers led by Velan come to Raju and ask him to pray to God for rain. They also want him to go on a fast for this. Raju, now known as a seeker, a saint, has to start a fast. Raju gets perplexed. Raju now reveals his identity to Well and he says that he is just an ordinary tour guide. But Velan takes him as a saint and so even though Raju plans an escape, he cannot. However, moved by the pure faith of the villagers in him, Raju undergoes a big transformation from an ordinary tour guide, from a cheat, a fraud, to a spiritual guide. He takes pity on the villagers. He becomes compassionate towards them and he decides to pray to God for rain. And he goes on fast. And he fasts for a number of days. During fasting, he becomes weak and falls unconscious. Here the novel comes to an end. So this is the journey of an ordinary tour guide from a tour guide to a spiritual guide. A film has been made on this guide. A Hindi film, Guide, is the adaptation of R K Narayan's novel, The Guide, and in this film, Devanand plays the lead role of Raju. The, the role of Roji is played by Bahida Rahman. And this film was directed by Vijay Anand, the younger brother of Devanand. So a question can also be asked about who played the Raju in film Guide, the adaptation of R K Narayan's novel The Guide, and who played Roji in that film, and who was the director of this film. R K Narayan is also known for making India accessible to outside world through literature. In fact, I would like to say that Mr. R K Narayan, Mr. Mulk Raj Anand, and Raja Rao, the three of them made India accessible to outside world through their creative works in English. So India could now be understood better by these three with the help of these three writers. R K Narayan was honored with Padma Bhushan in the year 1964. He got Padma Vibhushan also in the year 2000, just 1 year before his death. He died in the year 2001 on 13th May 2001. He got A.C. Venson Medal in the year 1980, and he became an honorary member of American Academy of Art, and later in the year 1982. In 1989, Mr. R K Narayan was sent to the upper house, Rajya Sabha, as a member of the parliament, and he got honorary doctorate from University of Mysore, University of Leeds, and Delhi University. So today I have talked about the novels, a few novels of Mr. R K Narayan, and how he influenced the Indian writing in English, and how through his writings in English the world came to know about the life and society of India. In my another video, I am going to discuss his writing skills and also about his short stories. Thank you very much for watching.